Hey, what's going on, guys? It is our second episode here on the 0 Hour, and we're excited to have y'all with us here. I'm your host, Tim Loy, and we've got a packed show for you guys out there. We've got the usual cast of characters with us, of course. Jeff Hobbs in the house. We got Greg Hopkins. We got Torres Finney, and of course, we have Justin Watson on the line as well. Big show lined up for everyone out there today. So once again, thanks for joining us. If you would, to start things out, if you haven't already, smash the like button for us. Give us a subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we put up new episodes and interviews and the like. And then leave a comment for us down there. That helps all the algorithms work it out so we can keep this thing growing. So we do appreciate that. Before we get going here, we'll quick rundown of what we've got in store today. We've got a couple of interviews we're going to get things started off with. We're going to talk to Tristan Scarborough from Aries 2. We're going to talk to Briven Sullivan from Aries 1. And then we are going to go over all the bouts that have been announced thus far for our inaugural show. Aries Fight Series 1 goes down October 30th, Camp Jordan Arena. 6 days later, we're going to be in Knoxville at the Cotton Eye Joe, the world famous Cotton Eye Joe for Aries 2. So we're going to run down all the fights, the full card for Aries 1 today. And then next week, we're going to go through Aries 2. And then we'll wrap the show up with some quick thoughts on this week's UFC Vegas 39. So before we get to our first segment, which will be a chat with Tristan Scarborough, let's hear from our sponsors real quick. Check out this video from our sponsor. And then when we come back, we'll chat with Aries 2's Tristan Scarborough.
Oh, sorry, brother. I was muted. I was watching the Buddy's Barbecue. What's going on with you, Tristan?
Not much, man. Just literally got out of the shower from practice.
Yeah, the same. Man, brother, tell us about your fight coming up. You got Blake Carroll, an independent MMA coming out for Aries 2 right here. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on in this camp. I know you switched camps a little bit, and I don't want to give it away. I want you to tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, so after my last fight, I moved out here to Mooresville, North Carolina, which is close to where Hobbs Jackson Wink is located. I actually found them from an old Valor post where they had tagged one of Vincent's fights. So I reached out to Coach Hobbs, told him I moved to the area and was looking for a gym, and I came in and I just kind of, fell in love with the place. It's like a family there. And he's just a great coach and everybody's great partners there. So it's been nice to get there and really improve my skill set.
Speaking of partners, who have you had that you've got to switch it up with? New training partners? You had some guys come in to help you, from the old gym. Are you still got ties? What's going on with it? Any new characters you're seeing at the gym? Anybody you've become really acquainted with that you like to spar with more, getting ready for this fight?
I mean, Josiah is always a good one. Me and him have good rounds together. He's got a really well-rounded game. Get to run a little bit with Justin now that he's joined with us. So that's been pretty fun too, to get to work with him and get to know him.
Fanny, you've tussled with you've tussled with Tristan a little bit before, man. I know you got some questions for him, man. Give it to him.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see my boy Tristan fight. I'm definitely gonna be on the call. He commentated my last fight, so hey, it's only right for me to commentate his next one.
Yes, sir.
But man, Tristan, I'm excited for him. I mean, now Tristan has found himself a new home and a new gym, and now he gets to basically work on a lot of different areas. And I mean, the so-called, they say, the elephant in the room. His wrestling, his ground game. So. Mm-hmm. As they ask the question now, a lot of opponents looked at Tristan and they would try their best to take him down and get him to the ground. What type of things have you done, Tristan, since then to work on that avenue?
To be totally honest, before I got out here, I was rarely rolling. It was just all striking. I didn't have anybody really teaching me anything grappling wise. It was all just kind of sharp Shark Tank, which is funny because we do a literal Shark Tank at Hobbs Jackson Week now that is really beneficial for me. But it was kind of just being thrown to the wolves and figure out how to survive, which I could do that pretty well, but it wasn't really winning me fights, obviously. So to be able to really learn the technical side of jiu-jitsu and wrestling and how to defend a takedown, how to get back to your feet, it's changed my game a lot, that I can be more aggressive with my striking too, because I don't have as much worries about getting taken down because I know my grappling and takedown defense is there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see a lot of the good things out of Tristan now. He's a really, really good opponent. Really good with striking, and I'm excited to see the new wave of what Tristan brings to the table now, especially against Blake. And Blake is from Independent MMA, and Independent MMA has had a few fighters already fight for Valor. So from Blake standpoint, what do you see out of your opponent? What do you see from Blake that you study up on him?
So, it's kind of hard because he hasn't fought in a while to really know what we're going to get. He looks a little heavier set than what he was, not in a bad way. It looks like he's put on some muscle mass as he's gotten older. From what I saw from his tape, he's got some good striking. He definitely likes to wrestle more. So I'm definitely expecting him to be shooting double legs, probably from the opening bell, because that's kind of been the game plan, like you said, that people are going to try to take me down. So I look forward to shutting that one down, honestly. But, it really doesn't matter too much. I can't game plan for what he's going to do all that much without, any context of what he's been doing for the past 5 years. So all I can really do is focus on myself.
Hey, brother, like you moved to a different camp, and you were supposed to be fighting, TK Mattress. We had a pull from that one due to COVID, and you're talking about rolling, wrestling, all this jiu-jitsu. That's got to mess with your lungs a little bit. And having COVID, have you been able to smell, taste, do anything? Is it what? Can you tell us about that situation? How did you come upon it? Like, tell us, let us know what's going on. Let everybody know what happened that don't know what happened yet with that TK fight, and let's go forward.
Yeah, so obviously I was supposed to fight twice in August. I was going to fight against Aaron Burris, and then I was going to fight against TK. So the week before the Aaron Burris fight, I felt really sick, and I had to leave work or whatever, and I had 103-degree fever. And, my work was like, you need to go get tested. So I went and got tested. Sure enough, I had COVID, and it sucked. The 2 weeks that I had it, it was really bad. And I really felt off. And for the next week or so after I, got back to training and stuff, I felt really just out of it and tired. But then, since then, I feel like I bounced back really quick. And I don't know if just getting the time to recover, because, going through a fight camp, you get hurt and tired and stuff like that. That time to recover kind of made me bounce back quicker, and I felt better than ever since. But you brought up the smell and taste thing. The taste came back. Smell has not come back. It's still.
I don't have mine either.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to smell since January.
I can stand above a gas tank and not smell anything.
Yep, that's dangerous, man. We need to file for some compensation from our government or something. I'd say, man.
I hear that.
We're losing one of our senses, but so do you believe that, there's a lot of questions on everybody's mind about fighters getting COVID coming back, Kazmat, they're talking about all these fighters. And do you think it affects you? Do you think it's affect your, as of right now, going into this fight in a few weeks, do you think it's going to affect you and your cardio at all?
Yeah, no, my cardio feels better than ever, honestly. Especially, it's not just the cardio aspect, but because I've been rolling so much since May, that even my grappling cardio, my body's used to it now. I'm not really worried about it too much.
Is there any certain type of message? Oh, go ahead, Finney. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to just ask the question.
Say probably the same question I was about to ask. Go ahead. It's probably the same one.
I doubt it was, but we'll see. But I was going to say that, obviously with the TK fight falling out, is there any chance that you would go back and readdress that fight with TK?
Oh yeah, as soon as he's ready, I'd love to have that fight. That was a fight that I was interested in, and I felt like everybody was kind of interested in. It was kind of a perfect stylistic matchup, and I would definitely love to have that fight.
That wasn't the question I was going to ask. That was a better question. But what I was for promotional purposes, I wanted to cut something real quick before we let you give a shout out to your sponsors and anybody that's helped you along the way. Is there any message you'd like to send to Blake Carroll right now to let him know to be ready? Anything at all?
Keep training hard, man. I want you at your best.
That's what I want to hear. All right, let's give a shout out to all your fans, family, and any sponsors you want to let them know.
I always got to give a shout out to my girlfriend Mackenzie. She always supports me and keeps me able to do all these things. Honestly, obviously, shout out to my team, Hobbs, Jackson Wink, Coach Hobbs. I appreciate those guys, taking me in and helping me. Josiah, Cody, Vince, everybody there just really taking me in and making me feel like family and helping me become a much better fighter. Shout out to my family and all the people who still support me. I know, it ain't always fun to support somebody when they're on a little bit of a losing streak, but, I've been working hard and I look forward to putting any doubt to rest.
Heck yeah, well, we know that Blake Carroll's going to be.
Justin also told me for you to show us your pet. What's your pet?
Okay, but you guys can't be saying anything about my dress.
Oh man, I love to see this.
Give me a second. My girlfriend's retrieving him.
I'm excited.
Pet.
Do you know what the pet is, Finney?
I'm excited to see this.
You know what it is?
I don't know what the pet is. I don't.
It's about as Tennessee as it gets.
It's got to be a catfish.
Oh.
Don't get me in this.
We rep him one time with a catfish.
Oh, he's got it.
Whoa!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Has he bit you yet? Has he bit you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
That we used to have one of those little things will bite like hell, man. Well,
yeah, he can.
Tristan, that's awesome, man. That's country as hell, and we love it, brother. We can't wait to see you and Blake square off and on Aries 2, November 5th, man. With that being said, we want to thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Torres, guys. And with that being said, we're going to go to our one of our sponsors and go to another commercial, guys. Thanks again, Tristan.
Thank y'all. Have a good one,
brother.
American Roofing Company is a licensed public adjuster, general contractor, and roofing company here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We've been here for over 10 years. We are able to get you a next day roof right after insurance has approved it. That's what we did here at Mr. Durkovich's house. Got his roof approved for insurance, and we were able to negotiate his claim with his insurance provider. Right now, for this catastrophe, we're doing free tarpings and free inspections. Give us a shout today, and we'll be able to get you the roof you deserve. Remember, American Roofing Company has you covered.
Hey, welcome back, guys. We're back for round number 2. Tim Boyd with you now with my man Jeff Hobbs, and now we're going to talk to Briven Sullivan, who's coming back for his sophomore effort in the cage at Aries 1. That goes down October the 30th. Briven, how's it going, my man?
Going great. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're excited to talk to you for sure. You definitely kind of made a good, a big splash, if you will, coming out for that first fight. I know that was exciting for all of us. Jeff, you were there to call that one in the cage. So you got a firsthand look at the personality that is Mr. Sullivan.
I felt the heat. I felt the heat that night for sure. It was permeating in the air after that interview. We've talked about it a little bit on past shows that just one amateur fight in, Briven has no shortage of possible opponents. It probably wasn't too hard, was it, Tim, to find him a dance partner?
From a matchmaker's perspective, he's a dream, honestly, because that's what you want, man. You want guys that have got guys easy to match up for him. Guys want to fight him, and that's always good. It's better than guys ducking away. So, Briven, let's talk about it, man. You're a young buck, but you've been training, for several years, even though you've just recently, in the past year or two, been old enough to actually compete in MMA. Your training background goes back since you were a young boy, yeah?
Yep. Started when I was 15. Started under Jonathan Vineyard. Rest in peace, him. Got a fuckload of fights under him, and then I moved up to David Robbins once that gym closed down, and now I'm here at Agogi. I've been around.
Yeah, that is quite a few different training environments at a young age to take in, which is actually probably a really good thing. What's been the difference amongst the three? Would you say what is it about Agogi that fits you, your personality, and just your fight style?
Man, it's just a family aspect. At the other gyms, it was when AKB was in its prime and we had a lot of guys fighting. We still didn't have a lot of fighters. We had 2 or 3 fighters. At my first gym with Patriot MMA with Jonathan Vineyard, I was kind of the golden boy. Still, I was the only fighter that we had. But with this gym, it's like I don't have a limited supply of teammates, a limited supply of different looks, whether it be grappling or striking or whatever it may be. And then on top of that, I know a lot of people like to talk shit and say I'm a striker and I got no grappling background, man, but I promise these guys are taking well care of me, and it's just in these 6 months that I've been back, 6 to 7 months that I've been back, I can see my jiu-jitsu game just shooting through the roof.
It's been a nice addition, I'm sure, for Agogi as well, because obviously they've got a lot of fighters that are well-rounded, they can strike, but usually if you've got a guy coming from Agogi, you're going to anticipate them wanting to grapple first and foremost, and then being a BJJ school at its core, so you being kind of known as a striker coming in, that's got to add a different element, yeah?
Yeah, for sure, man. Fuck, dude, getting those rounds in with Logan when I first came in, dude's tough as nails. You can definitely see, not to toot my own horn or not, but from the rounds that they're getting with me, you can see everyone just getting more comfortable on the feet. And we have so many guys who are so in the mindset of fighting and in the studying and the intelligence stage, which is just a constant growth. But these guys are really working their asses off to just be the best fighters they can be. So, yeah, man, I've seen such growth in just these 6 months in all my training partners. It's beautiful. It's awesome.
Jeff, what you got, my man?
Shit, man. I looked at a post earlier, Briven, that was posted up, and I think the title of it was Briven in his usual place in the gym, and it had you getting fucking choked out from Logan. So
hey, don't let him fool you. He can't.
I feel like there's a different story, going on here, man. Briven, listen, how much? What do you walk around at? What do you walk around at?
Dude, I this in between this last camp, I got a little big because I had injuries, which is weird after the fight I had. Such a dominant fight and stuff, but once that adrenaline wears off, you can feel more injuries come on. So I had to take about 2 weeks off. So I kind of bloated up. But what I walk around at, fight week, I'll be about 147 and 145 when I cut my water. So only 10 pounds, not too much.
So that being said, I know you're kind of new in your career, and don't want to look too far ahead, but a lot of times we see guys that they'll do their whole amateur career at one weight, but with that understanding that when I go pro, I'm going to have to probably go down a weight class. Is that something that you think physically your makeup of your body, is that something that you are kind of looking ahead saying, hey, one day I'm probably going to be more fit as a 25er as a professional? or do you feel so comfortable at 35 and the easy weight cut that's where you're going to try to stay?
Honestly, I like the weight cut so far. I'm 19, you know what I mean? Like I'm still in my baby body per se. Like I'm going to reach my man body, right? So I'm anticipating that when I'm around 23 or 24, I'm going to become more of a natural 35er. I still believe 25 is in reach and will always be in reach. But yeah, like right now, I'm just focused on this 35 division, and I just want to starch everybody who's in front of me. Put all these 35ers on notice.
Well, it's comments like that, man, that just, you know, it exudes that confidence. Tell us after that last fight. Like I said, we joke around about how, you know, there's not going to be a shortage of opponents, but surely you had motherfuckers in your DMs, private messages. What was the reaction after that of other people in the region that watched the fight, heard about the interview, saw the post-fight interview?
Man,
were they blowing your shit up?
All these motherfuckers are soft, bro. Like, these guys got big-ass balls, and they don't have the skills to back it up. You can't be having Joel Winters calling me out saying he's the best grappler in the U.S., bro, when you got 2 submission losses, one of them being a well-known fucking striker. Come on, bro. Like, you can't be talking all that shit. I mean, it's funny because a year ago when I just turned 18, we were actually struggling to find me an opponent. We were searching for opponents a couple months, well before I moved to Texas for a bit. So, I mean, it's nice. It's nice having guys who actually want to fucking fight me. I'm so tired of all these motherfuckers running around. I think it's kind of funny how this Brennan Johnson fella called me out after I beat up his teammate or whatnot. But you know what I mean? Like that goes into an ego thing. So I like having all these guys with eyes on me. I like having eyes on me. I like to put pressure on me. I talk all this shit because at the end of the day, my personality shines out in my fighting style. My fighting style, me talking shit in the cage, me in the fucking interviews, me in the gym. I'm authentic, bro. I'm myself 110% of the time. And everybody's like, I'd love to talk shit, but I'm scared to. You know what I mean? I'm scared to fucking get my ass beat. Like, dude, just be yourself. You know what I mean? Just be yourself and have some fun. And that's what I do. I go on there and I have some fun. And, you know, I stuff all these crotch sniffers into the fucking dirt.
Well, I mean, and that my last thing, you know, I'm just going to say, and I keep it real on here, man. I'll throw it out there. There's a lot of guys that talk the same way you do. They talk the talk, but when it comes time to accepting fights, they'll kind of, well, I got an excuse here and I got an excuse there. And they continue to talk the talk, but don't really walk the walk. That's not going to be you, is it? If you say it,
dude,
you're going to back it up.
Of course. Of course. I'm still young in this game. So,
you ain't afraid of a loss is what you're telling me. You ain't afraid of a loss.
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah.
A loss in an amateur career doesn't mean shit to me. I'm so young in this game. I've trained alongside some excellent David Robbins. You know what I mean? I've trained alongside Jonathan Vineyard. I've got all these fucking amazing coaches out there. Ray Rodriguez, fucking Chadrick Turner, Crew Kassib, Jose Johnson, Jonathan Patti. All these guys who are high level and who have put themselves on notice in the chat or fucking in the chat. Sorry that popped up. But have put themselves on notice on the circuits. You know what I mean? I'm confident in my ability, and a loss doesn't mean shit. You know, I'm still young in this game. I still have a bunch of tweaks to make, whether it be in fucking cardio wise or mindset wise or the strategy going into the fight, dude. But a loss doesn't scare me.
Well, that's what we like to hear, man.
So yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I love the confidence. I love the fact that you'll talk some shit. It makes it a lot easier for us to promote the fight when the fighters are willing to help us promote the fight, you know. That's definitely a good thing. Let's talk about this one coming up. Brennan Johnson, he's a teammate, as you referenced earlier. Khalil Sims, your first opponent. He's a guy with more fights than you, you know. Khalil is a guy with 2 fights already whenever y'all met. Brennan Johnson comes in at 2-1, so he's got 3 fights already under his belt. So I think it goes without saying you're willing to go out there and step out and put yourself against more experienced competition already, which is very refreshing. What have you seen in Brennan Johnson's game? From what I can gather, they said that he will strike with you. That's something that they're saying that he will stand and bang with you. From what you've seen, do you think that's what'll happen?
He's speechless, Tim. He's speechless.
Did we lose you, Briven? We can see you. Can you hear us at all? No, he can't. He can't hear or see us, Jeff.
Well, everything looks good on my end.
Yeah, we can. Oh, there he goes.
Yep, he's out.
He's out. Well, we got a good bit out of him, if anything, man. He's definitely confident, and that's what. Hey, that's one thing I think to talk like that in the cage afterward, and then maybe after the adrenaline goes away, you've got a bit of a change of attitude. But if anything, it looks like he's still kind of carrying that same energy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, a lot of people talk the talk. The proof is going to be in the pudding on whether or not. Like Tim, you see it all the time. We see it every show, every month, where guys are, like we said, scared of that L. And when it comes time to sign their name on the dotted line, they avoid that L. So, but I tell you what, Briven actually just jumped back in, so I'm gonna bring him back in so we can close this out.
Yep. Hey, he's back. Can you hear me, man?
Yes, sir. I apologize. I got
awesome. Oh no, it's okay. I was more or less saying, let's talk about this upcoming fight. You got Brendan Johnson, a guy that's a teammate of Khalil Sims, who you just beat. He's a guy with already he's already had 3 fights, so it's another instance of you stepping up and taking a more experienced competitor. They've said that he's going to be willing to strike with you. They said he's a striker from what you've seen. Do you think that he will when it comes time to get in there, or do you think he's going to he'll end up shooting?
Everyone's a striker till they get fucking kicked in the face. You know what I mean? Everyone's a striker till they get something thrown at them. I think I'm on another level. I don't think there's anyone in this region, there's anyone in this fucking country who can strike with me. I genuinely believe that. And I'm willing to go prove it. I'd fucking love for him to strike with me. But from what I've seen from his fights, dude, I see Khalil as being a harder matchup for me. You know what I mean? In all honesty. Because like I said, dude, now I wasn't happy with the performance I had last fight, but it takes 2 people to make a fight. And when you got a guy like Khalil, who's a very defensive grappler and who is very on the defensive side, it's not easy to finish guys like that. I hope Brennan comes out there, and I hope he tries to strike with me, because I promise if he strikes with me, he's going to catch a shin to the face, and he's going to fucking not remember the rest of his week. But from what I have seen from him, I've watched all of his fights. He's a southpaw. He's got a left hand, throws a bomb with a left hand. But other than that, dude, he gets uncomfortable and he shoots for a double leg in every single one of his fucking fights. And in his 3rd fight, he got guillotined. You know what I mean? He was winning the fight. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? He's not a striker. He's far from a striker. But, I'd love to see him come in there and strike with me. That's what I've been itching for. I'm sure you've heard Sterling, on the matchmaking side of it, like we want a striker. We want someone to come out there, and I want to knock someone stiff. And Brendan Johnson's going to be the guy.
Hey, then's fighting words. You're going to get an opportunity to show everybody too. Man, before we wrap this thing up, let's talk a bit about long and short-term goals for you. What are you're, like you said, only 19 years old, still got your entire career ahead of you, but it's obvious that you've got high aspirations. You've got goals. What are your long-term goals in this thing? And then what are some more short-term goals, maybe say over the next year?
Over the next year, I want that 35 and I want that 45 title for Aries. Period. I want to go in there, and in reality, I just want to fucking put everyone's face into the ground. As far as like skill set, I'm constantly fucking grinding my ass off. I'm working my ass off every single day, dude. So in this next year, I really want to get more comfortable on the jiu-jitsu mat. I've been feeling so comfortable lately. I've been finding my game. I've been finding my submissions. I feel good defensively. So I want to take advantage of the setting that I'm at. Long-term wise, dude, the goal is always going to be the UFC. I want to be the best in the world, and to be the best in the world, you got to beat the best in the world. So I want to go in there, and I want to starch every motherfucker they put in front of me. I want to make a statement. I want to be that next guy, and I think I am that next guy.
Hey, I love the confidence, man, for sure. We're going to have lots of good sound bites, I think, to promote you with over the coming fights, for sure. Before we let you go, man, I want to give some shout-outs where they're due. If you got any friends, family, training partners, sponsors you want to show some love to, we'll let you do that, and then wrap it up by letting people know where they can follow you on your social media.
Yes, sir. I want to give a shout-out Platinum Pest Control, my main sponsor. Always give the shout out to the fam. They're always supporting me, always backing me up. My gym, dude, we're Agogi's next fucking level. We're not leaving with an L. We're not leaving with an L October 30th. Our team's just on a different level compared to all the other teams around here. Other than that, I want to give a shout out to my main training partner. Logan's been helping me since I came here. He's weaved me into the crowd. It's became family. Logan, Finney, Sterling. Those guys have taken me under their wing, and those guys have really put me in a better place in a martial artist aspect. But other than that, man, all good.
And where can we follow your social media so we can keep up with your braggadocious ways?
Yes, sir. Briven.Sullivan on Instagram. You can follow my Facebook page at Briven Sullivan Fighting. And maybe if you're nice enough, I'll accept your friend request and find me at Briven Sullivan on just my regular personal Facebook page.
Hey, man, we appreciate the time, Briven. Really looking forward to it. If anything,
so much,
you're going to be one of these guys that love you or hate you. People are going to tune in to see what you're doing, and that's what I'm about. Thanks so much, man. We'll see you October 30th. Let's go to a commercial break here. We'll be back with the rest of the gang.
Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a good one.
See you, Briven.
American Roofing Company is a licensed public adjuster, general contractor, and roofing company here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We've been here for over 10 years. We are able to get you a next day roof right after insurance has approved it. That's what we did here at Mr. Durkovich's house. Got his roof approved for insurance, and we were able to negotiate his claim with his insurance provider. Right now, for this catastrophe, we're doing free tarpings and free inspections. Give us a shout today, and we'll be able to get you the roof you deserve. Remember, American Roofing Company has you covered.
And we're back. And round 3, getting ready to start it off. But before we do that, let's get some reactions to our two guests. Thanks a lot to both Tristan Scarborough and Briven Sullivan for joining us before their fights coming up. You can catch Briven at Aries 1. You can catch Tristan at Aries 2. Greg, your thoughts on these interviews? What'd you take away from it? These guys seem like they're ready to rock, yeah?
I'm trying to show you this picture right here. It was actually my background of Briven getting choked out by Logan, and I was like wanting so bad to like throw it in there, but I couldn't. Yeah, dude, I'm actually excited to see Briven fight on Aries. I'm ready to see him go and put all these regional cats to shame, because I mean, I get to spar with him in the room too, and like get his next level with them hands. He's been brushed up on his jiu-jitsu coming to Agogi, so like super duper excited to see him and where he goes from here. Dude's unreal. And I know his next fight he doesn't think is going to be as tough as his last one, but he's got a tough fight coming up. This is going to be a really good fight, and it's another one to kick off there, and I can't wait to see who gets the mic afterwards, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you've got to think that these guys are coming from the same team. Doug Usher, coach over there at Independent MMA, he's not going to run. He was obviously in the corner for the last fight, so I don't think he's going to run someone out there that he thinks doesn't have a chance to win. No. So I'm definitely excited for that one. Justin, you got to listen in on those. Your thoughts? You've been training there some with Tristan Scarborough, and of course, Briven Sullivan. Definitely, I'm sure got your attention.
Yeah, man, Briven's a character. Obviously, we got to see the kid last time out. We know the potential he's got, so I'm really looking forward to see him what he thinks is a good performance. As far as Tristan, man, I have been seeing him in the gym. He's busting his ass, and his cardio's looking great. I can't wait to watch that fight, man. I think it's gonna be a fun one. I don't know much about his opponent, but I know Tristan will be ready.
Jeff, this is we're going to be doing a lot of these interviews in the lead up, so we got to make sure we get Brendan Johnson on here to give a rebuttal in the coming weeks. But definitely excited for that fight and Tristan Scarborough's. And oddly enough, they're fighting teammates. Actually, the Blake, I didn't really think of it but it's the truth. Blake Carroll that's fighting Tristan Scarborough is another independent MMA guy down there with Doug Usher.
Yeah, I mean, those were great interviews. Definitely a tale of two different characters. Tristan, kind of more that calm, laid-back cat, and then Briven coming in with, on 10. But, man, you got to love that shit, man. I mean, that's what makes this fun. At the end of the day, if everybody just came out just, quiet and humble, it wouldn't be as fun as it is. And we need people like Briven out there that, spice shit up again. We go through ebbs and flows in this business where, shit, Tim, remember back in the day? I mean, you couldn't get on Facebook without reading 80 comments on a thread. People just wilding out on fucking Facebook, man.
Yeah.
And all you had to do was plant the seed. And then we go through a time where, it just kind of gets a little boring, and we're just going through the motion.
It's coming back.
And then, kids like this jump back in. And at first, I'm one of those guys that kind of looks at it. I go, okay, this is a little too much. But then I think back how fucking fun that used to be, man. Just reading that shit online. And it's like, all right, this is what we needed. We needed this kind of spice, man. So it was a good interview. I can't wait to do more of them. And you're right. One day when we get ballsy, we may put two of these faces on here at the same time. And it's one thing, we used to do the vocal podcast and being able to say something that wasn't real because you couldn't see the other guy. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe we got to dig into that.
Yeah, a little face-to-face action. Let's move on into round number 3, guys, and we're going to go through the fight card for Aries 1. So this is cool. Next week we'll do Aries 2. So tonight we're going to go through. Pretty much we've announced all the fights. We may add one more fight. We're in talks to maybe add one more. But as of right now, this is where it stands. We're going to run through everything that we've announced and just kind of get some early takes. Oh, the howler head. I see. We're getting some early takes. We're not doing predictions just yet, but just kind of get some early reactions to some of these bouts coming up. Again, this is Aries 1, October the 30th from the Camp Jordan Arena down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Eastridge to be exact. And you can catch it live on Spectation Sports. So make sure you check that out. That'll be where you can catch Aries 1. And let's just kind of run it down, guys, for our pro card. We'll start it off with our pro card. Right now, 3 pro bouts. We were really trying hard to get a fight for Ian Stevens on here, and that was a task, to say the least, man. I don't know that I've struggled to match someone ever as much as I struggled to match Ian Stevens because Ian's beast, no doubt. He's a tough out for anyone. 5-0 record, but he's been inactive over the last 8 years, and I thought that might play in my favor, but it did not. So one of my few fails out there, but we do have a solid pro card still. We got Logan Neal returning to Chattanooga after a huge showing last time out. Quick knockout of Jason Wolf. He had that place just standing on their feet. He stole the show, if you will. And on October the 30th, he's going to be taking on Dimitri Miller, a guy who had a pretty good amateur career. Went 7-2, I think, maybe as an amateur. 1-1 now as a pro out of the X3 gym down there in Hotlanta. You know that those guys always bring it. We've also got the long-awaited return of David Ruthless Robbins on this card. David Robbins been out now for going on a couple of years, and hopefully we can get David on in the coming weeks to touch base with him as to what's been going on. But David has relocated up to Somerset, Kentucky now, helping teach at the East West Martial Arts up there, and has some new surroundings, and he'll be looking to knock the rust off, if you will. 6-0 and one no contest coming into this one as he takes on a guy that just main evented a couple months ago back at the Joe in Corey Delaney, a guy from Team Chaos. Team Chaos always brings it. They've got a host of solid fighters up there in Ohio. So he will be a handful for David Robbins in his return. And then rounding out the pro card, and I'll go around for quick reactions. We've got a nice little grappling. It's pro fight, but two solid grapplers in David Lightning Lewis out of the High Stand camp down there in Dalton. He'll take on Andrew Havener from Nice Guy up in Indiana, a team that we've seen on several grappling competitions. Bobby Emmons, his coach, grapples at the highest level, in the world, really. Havener will be making his pro debut after a pretty lengthy amateur career. I think he went like 8-4 or something as an amateur. So that's an exciting fight because both those guys are so dangerous on the ground. We'll go around the horn. Quick reactions to the pro card, for October the 30th. Jeff, I'll let you lead off.
Yeah, man, a lot of interesting things going on the pro side of this card. Like I said, just two grappling heavy, fighters in Havener and Lewis. Havener coming from that Nice Guy camp that didn't they win one of our Hydra Cups?
Yeah, they did. They won the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, won the whole thing. So we know what kind of jiu-jitsu comes out of that gym, but Lewis is just that grinding, gritty grappler. So it's going to be interesting to see how Havener actually. This is his pro debut, so It's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to the new pro setting with the longer rounds. So that's got some intrigue to it. Logan Neal, like we talked about, before, this is his homecoming and his last time in that same building. He put on a show, and he put on a show for the fans, for you matching his fights and parlayed that into a really big fight this last July. So it's probably safe to say that, he's wanting to rewind and redo that performance again in front of his hometown crowd. So that's going to be good. But for me, on the pro side, the story is David Robbins. 2 years, man, 2 years out of the cage. David is one of those cats. His story is his story, and it's not my story to tell. But David's not afraid to tell his story. To anybody anybody that'll ask or wants to know. But he was on the top of the world 2 years ago and was on the cusp of some really big things. And life took a hard left for him. So this is big for him. This is big for our whole region, just to kind of see where everybody knows where David Robbins was when he left. Where is he at now, and how is that going to play into the division regionally and maybe further behind? We tried. I know. Well, I don't want to say we. Tim, I know you tried to ease David into this return. And hey, Dave, maybe take a pro tie fight, maybe a striking fight, just kind of get knock the rust off. And he wasn't having it. He wanted those 4-ounce gloves on and said, if I'm jumping back in the pool, I'm jumping in the deep end, it's sink or swim. I talked to David a little bit today, just through some text messages. And I think the feeling was, he's as nervous about this fight against this opponent than he was his debut, amateur or pro. He's more nervous now. And I think what we talked about was, for him, this is just the monkey on his back. And this is the finality that for him to get past what he's been through the last 2 years, he needs this. He needs to go through this whole process and shut that cage door and overcome something to kind of put the demons to rest.
Greg, thoughts on this pro card here coming up October 30th?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Dimitri Miller coming out of X3 in Atlanta. He's going to be a striker. That Logan's going to want to come in striking. Neither one of them are going to be looking to wrestle necessarily. I'm excited to see that one right there. Really excited to see David Lewis on a card right here. And, he's always entertaining. Andrew Havener, I know we've seen him at the Hydra Cups, and I know he's a beast on the mat. I just want to see how it goes. Because we spoke about David Lewis. He actually fought with Jonathan Pierce. He beat Jonathan Pierce, and we were talking about him last week, or week before last, or whatnot. And I'm excited to see David Lewis get in the cage. And speaking of David, yeah, and Hobbs just said it. The story that I'm more intrigued in is the David Robbins fight. We all know David personally. We're close with him, and I know him, and I know his story. And like Jeff said, it's not mine to tell. And I know we're going to get to hear it. He's going to tell everybody. But, like, you know, going off of 2 years and then stepping into the cage, you know, I'm not going to waste time talking about it, man. I'm excited for all 3 of these fights, and I know we got one more in the works right now, trying to get it on there. We're trying, but just to top what we already have with these 3, with the amateurs right here, it's just a little bit more icing on the cake already. Some more sweet icing.
Justin, you should be fairly familiar about all the guys involved here. We haven't seen Dimitri Miller yet, but you've seen most all the others.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I'm definitely familiar with the X3 gym and what they've got coming out of there. So looking forward to that fight. You know, Logan is, you know, a hometown guy. Is going to be coming in there trying to take this guy's head off. And from what I understand, Dimitri Miller is going to be, you know, he will oblige a fist fight. So that'll be a fun one. Obviously, you guys already talked about it. David Robbins coming back is super exciting, man. I'm happy for him that he's getting back in there and doing what he loves. And, you know, like Jeff said, he's not taking no bitch on this one. You know, he wanted to come back in and fight, and Corey Delaney's going to bring the fight. And but David will be ready for it, I'm sure. And then, you know, to kick it off, man, David Lewis is a very deceiving 2 and 3, to say the least. I think, you know, the kid has got a lot of talent. He can wrestle well, decent jiu-jitsu, heavy hands. And Andrew Havener is a beast. We've seen him, you know, several times, and he's always game in there. So looking forward to a fun group of fights there.
Yeah, Andrew Havener, the only person to hand Dan Bailey a defeat as an amateur, you know, choked him to sleep, actually. So that's kind of that one real nice feather in his cap that you can always look back on and be like, this guy's super dangerous at all times, real tricky, as those nice guys tend to be. Moving on to the top half of the amateur card, pretty nice little amateur card, I must say, guys. Headlined, of course, by our first ever Aries title fight. It'll be a middleweight title fight. 2 undefeated studs go at it. Colin Robinson from Team Link in Worcester, Mass. He's got a 3-0 record, and he's also got his own interview up here on the channel. So I definitely would suggest scrolling back to last week's upload and checking out that Colin Robinson interview, because it's a ton of fun. He'll take on Torres the Punisher Finney, our own Torres Finney from here on the 0 Hour. 4-0 out of Agogi. Both these guys, former champions in other organizations and undefeated coming into this. I really can't tell you a better title fight we could make as amateurs. I mean, this is really solid, really good fight for both guys, good test for both guys, and really could slot right in there with those pro fights. Realistically, as far as level of skill goes in the cage. Our amateur co-main event, we're going to see the return of Zane Burton, who really he brought the house down last time he fought out there, had a really nice crowd. He's only 1-0, but just very, very impressive win over Andre Johnson last time out, who was a scary dude. He's going to be putting that 1-0 record on the line against Robbie Burns out of the Reed Regiment in Waverly, Tennessee, 1-1. First time that Robbie fought, the first 2 times were for Primal Combat, and he went 1-1. He went through pretty quickly Jack Bowles, who's like freaking 6 foot infinity. He's like literally a 7-footer. Went through him pretty quick, and then got pushed into a title fight next. Wasn't quite ready for that step up, so he'll take on Zane, which I think will be a really good fight. Both those guys are really put together, big dudes. Also on the amateur card, we've got Quentin Milton, undefeated, taking on Casey Daniel from Agogi. Both those guys undefeated. Once again, Quentin Milton 2-0, Casey Daniel 1-0. I think Casey, a local firefighter there down in Chattanooga. Quentin Milton coming from that Striker Fight Center there in Kennesaw, Georgia, working with the likes of Jason Wolf. His teammate Carrington Johnson's on the card. We'll talk about him next. I think that's a really good fight. A pretty good step up for Casey Daniel, I must say, at home in his second fight. As we just mentioned, Carrington Johnson takes on Anthony Bryant up next. That's 155 pounds. Carrington 1-1, with his one loss being to Emilio Hernandez in a fight that was a war. I mean, it was a scrap. He won the first round, started to fade out a little bit in the second round, and Emilio came back and got him. Emilio very talented, one of the best guys in the area. Though Carrington before that had a big head kick knockout over Mardell Kirby. So like Carrington's solid, man, and of course he'll be preparing for this fight with his teammate Quentin Milton. Carrington going to take on the teammate of Casey Daniels. So you've got two striker guys taking on two Agogi guys. He's going to be Carrington's going to take on Anthony Bryant, 2-1 out of Agogi, formerly from the American Killer Bees camp there with David Robbins. So that's another really, really nice fight. We just talked to Briven Sullivan a little bit earlier, so you already know he's going to be fighting at 135 against Brendan Johnson. Briven out of Agogi, Brendan Johnson out of Independent MMA, and Newton, Georgia, 2-1 teammate of Briven's last opponent. And then rounding out this fight, we've got Tristan Kelly from Hyastan. He's coming off a win last time out, and even his record of 2-2. He's going to be taking on the debuting Savon Canto, who is a teammate of Andrew Havener out of Nice Guy Submission. He's a debuter, but he can grapple. Wrestled state placer in Indiana as a high school wrestler, and very good shape. Very good shape, from what I'm told, by Andrew Havener's teammate. Tristan Kelly coming in with 4 fights experience already, though definitely would, will help him. And then rounding out this fight, Tristan Kelly's teammate, Daniel Gonzalez, 2-1 out of Hyastan. Both those guys out of Hyastan. Daniel Gonzalez will take on the debuting Noah Madrid. First time we've seen Noah Madrid. He's a teammate of Dustin Garrett over there in Murphy, North Carolina at DC Combat. We'll go back in reverse this time, guys. Thoughts on the top portion of the amateur card, just early takes, Justin?
Yeah, man, definitely a bunch of good fights. The main event, is going to steal the show, obviously. I think these two guys are, well, I would say some of the best in the area, but Colin's from Massachusetts, so I guess it's a little out of the area. But, I'd say two of the top amateurs at 185 pounds in the Eastern region. Zane Burton and Robbie Burns is going to be a fun one. Robbie 1-1, Zane's 1-0, and we saw him out there last time. Got a big win. Let's see. I'm looking forward to seeing Carrington Johnson back. That fight with Anthony Bryan, I think, is going to be a war. Both those guys bring it every time. And let's see. Obviously, Tristan Kelly. Not Tristan Kelly. Briven Sullivan. We just listened to him. That's going to be fun to see if he brings it the way that he claims that he's going to. But yeah, man, there's a lot of good fights on here. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good show. You've done a good job matching these fights.
I appreciate that. This is I'm proud of this card, honestly, especially this little segment we just went through. I kind of just looked at it, and we have 4 guys, if you don't count debuts, putting their O up. We have 4 guys that have fought and have undefeated records, putting that O on the line. Greg, your thoughts on this top half of the amateurs?
Oh, man, just looking at it from the bottom half up to the top, I'm smiling at seeing Daniel Gonzalez back in there, man, dude, that guy's got a chin, cast iron chin, can take a pounding, but, dude, he has just got that, he's got that heart. I can't wait to see him. Tristan
Kelly. Watch his feet.
Yeah, and Tristan Kelly, we were sitting cage side watching Tristan Kelly and asking why doesn't he go back to his roots of wrestling, and as we're sitting there talking back and forth, boom, he gets a takedown, he gets submission and all this and whatnot. And I was just like, boom, well, there it is. And now he's got a wrestler that he's got, coming out of Indiana. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's not a yin yang. That's just a clash, going on to Briven Sullivan. I can't wait him to cash them checks. It is, that his mouth's rotting right now. I can't wait till he does it. He's going to do it. And again, that fight though is a little bit tougher than he's giving itself credit for. And like Dustin said, if he thinks his last performance was like subpar, I can't wait to see what a fantastic performance, live in an MMA fight would be from Briven. Carrington Johnson, Anthony Bryant. Dude, I'm telling you, they're making me smile each one. The higher we go up, right there with Carrington Johnson, Anthony Bryant. Anthony, they're like Justin said, they're going to stand and bang. There's no doubt about it. These guys, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of grappling at all. No hooks, no cage work. They're going to stand and bang. Likely we'll see that fight end via KO. Milton and Daniels. Jeff, hang on to your mic on this one, brother. Hang on to your mic, because whoever gets it afterwards, that's what I'm saying. They're probably going to drop that thing for you. That one's really intriguing to me. Like you say, Casey Daniels stepping up. This is a big step up for him too, from his first fight. And then he did say, "Who's next?" Well, this is Quentin Milton. Quentin Milton is next. Out of Atlanta. That's who we got at Kennesaw. Zane Burton tore the damn roof off the place last time we were in Chattanooga. Last time we had a fight in Chattanooga, he was down there, and Zane, it seemed like he had all of us. You know, me and Zane are from the same hometown. He went to Ringgold High School. I went to Ringgold, and I grew up with a lot of people that Zane knows. And I got to see a lot of people there that I knew. And I'm telling you right now, they're all going to come back to this one, and they're going to bring a friend with them this time because just right after that fact, you know, you have all these Agogi guys putting their O on the line. You have that next one, that big one that Justin just mentioned, that he thinks the main event of this portion is just going to blow everybody away. I can't wait to see this 5-round fight. 15 minutes. I don't know if we see a finish, to be honest, and y'all might disagree with me. Y'all might say it's going to end at some point in time, but both of these guys are very, very intelligent fighters. Both of these guys are far beyond their years as amateurs. Where they stand right now, they're just the clash, and I don't know if I'm saying this or I'm out of line, but I think we're seeing this a little sooner than we probably should. I would have liked to seen it professionally, to be honest with you, which we're going to still get to see that time span of a 15-minute professional fight deal. But still, this is for the title, the Aries title. It doesn't count on their pro record, but it does count for something, and somebody's leaving with a strap.
Some nice looking straps at that. Jeff, round us off here on this segment here for the amateurs.
Yeah, pumped up, baby. Hey, they're in for this section. I got them.
Look at this. Look at this. You got some new gloves.
Combat corner. Yep. They come in, so I put them on for this section.
You get them all broken in. Oh, did we lose your audio, Jeff? I think we lost your audio, or maybe it's just me.
It's everybody.
No.
Okay, you're back. You're back. Yeah.
I got excited. I hit mute, man.
Those gloves.
It's because I got these fucking gloves on, man. I can't even. All right, that was funny. Now I can't get them off. I'm gonna have to cut them off, man. I don't think we're seeing this too soon because both these guys, Johnson, Torres, Finney, they both said, man, this is probably their last amateur fight. So they're going pro, and this is probably not a fight you would pick for your pro debut. You know, we've seen it in the past. What was another one to see? But it was just so Demir and Charlie. It's like you throw a banger in right then, and both of them wanted it. And I see this if they had done this as pros, I think that would have been too soon. So it's time to see it. We've talked to both guys several times. And they want to see where they're at before they turn pro, whether somebody's winning and somebody's losing, because I've never been to a fight where both guys win. But they both said no matter what, you know, they're going pro. Somebody's going to take a win into the pro ranks. Somebody's going to take a lesson, is the way both of them look at it. They're going to take what they learned from this fight to know what they got to work on in their pro career. But man, I wish. Tim, should we put? No, we won't put up a picture of the belt yet. We'll hold on to that. But we did
next week. Next week we'll unveil those belts.
Yeah, they're pretty, man. They're pretty, and somebody's getting to go with it, and I can't wait. Zane Burton, holy shit. Nobody really told me. You know, sometimes I ask and sometimes I don't, or somebody doesn't tell me like who are your ticket sellers before a show. I mentioned his name one time in front of that crowd. And I wasn't ready, for that response. The last time I was like, holy shit, who's this guy? And like Greg said, though, the thing is, he brought that crowd to a debut where nobody knew what they were getting. The ones that didn't show up to his debut now know what they missed. I guarantee you they're not going to miss the second one. So I expect a loud Zane Burton crowd in Camp Jordan for number 2. And, I mean, that gets you hyped no matter who you are. When you hear a crowd give it up like that. Now, Greg, that was Casey Daniels that dropped the mic on me, right?
It was.
It was Casey. Yeah, I'm not handing it over this time. Casey, you can't do that to the announcer, man. One, I'm too big to be bending over in front of everybody. So I can't I got to bend at the knees to get it off the ground. That was embarrassing. So I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it for Casey this time. Carrington Johnson, you guys said it. I'm excited too because that fight with Emilio, when they fought, I mean, he easily won that first round. And man, he had a sneaky record in that one, and he's not that performance. He's not going to sneak up on anybody now. That's for sure. And I can't wait. There's so many good fights out there you could think for Carrington Johnson, man. So that's good. Spencer Kistner, I've heard a lot about him. I know this is his debut. He has invested so much in this show on so many different levels. He's 100% bought in and committed to not only his fight, but doing his part to make sure that this show is successful. So definitely interested in that. And then Briven Sullivan, we just talked to him earlier. Man, he's another one of those that I can see so many good fights coming down the pipe for him. And I know these fighters don't like thinking too far ahead, but I mean he's got like one or two waiting depending on the outcome of this if he gets through it. And those are fights that I want to see. So I can't wait to see how that one turns out. But I do agree with Greg. His confidence is great. I just hope some of that is for show and a little bit of that in the back of his head. Like Greg said, maybe they're talking to him in the gym. It's like, okay, you can put that online and you can talk like that, but you better take this guy serious. And I'm sure that's what's going on in that situation. Daniel Gonzalez was exciting last time I saw him fight. So man, just all in all, this top part of this amateur card is fire, man.
Moving on to the undercard here, the first half of the amateur card. Probably don't have as much to talk about just yet because there's a lot of noobs here, which, sometimes these are the fights that will steal the show. Guys that never fought before, you have a level of nerves and anticipation and anxiety, and they go out there and sometimes it's like a crazy whirling dervish, especially with a crowd like we're going to have at Camp Jordan Arena, which should be pretty lit. As Jeff just mentioned, we got Spencer Kistner taking on Mikey Jutz at 135. We've got another debut from Agogi, Cameron Oliver. Maybe Greg can give us some more insight on him. He'll be taking on Corey Farmer, another fighter out of Murphy, North Carolina. He did have his debut about a year and a half ago, but he hasn't fought since then. He high school wrestling background for Corey Farmer. Lucas Cox, yet another Agogi debut on here, so it'd be the first time seeing him, I believe. I was told he's a police officer down there in Chattanooga. He's taking on Skylar Cobb, 1-1 out of Rome. We've seen Skylar a couple times, got a win over Chris Connett. Last time out, though, he lost to Richard Guerrero, so he'll be looking to take out one of Richard Guerrero's teammates here in Lucas Cox. We've got 145 debuts. Now, this one should be fun. Frank Gallardo, another debut from Agogi, gets in there for the first time to take on another debutante, if you will, and Antoine Jennings out of American Top Team in Atlanta. I don't really have much background on these guys because they've not fought, but they both look like they're really put together. Then we've got 205s, the light heavyweights. We've got the teammate of Antoine Jennings, Anton Brown, making his debut out of American Top Team in Atlanta, taking on the debuting Joseph Flores. He's a local there in Chattanooga. I don't know a whole lot about him. I know they told me that he wrestled in high school, but I don't know really beyond that a whole lot. Hopefully we'll have some more information on him. He will have to definitely come correct taking on Mr. Brown coming out of American Top Team. And then to open the show, we just added this one kind of late, but I wanted to do it. We're going to see Case Rice come back. We saw him last time down in Chattanooga. He fought against Sly Loose from Agogi. So this is his second fight. He's from Diamond Thai Boxing there under Zach Fox in Beattyville, Kentucky. He'll be taking on Noah McGay, who is making his debut out of that independent MMA gym. So he'll be a teammate of Brennan Johnson, who's fighting Briven Sullivan. We'll swing it back around here, guys. I don't expect you guys to have a whole lot of takes on this. Greg maybe a little bit more because he trains with some of these guys. But anything stand out on this one, Jeff? The kids are always fun to lead off with.
Yeah, dude, you just kind of took my thunder, man. What stands out to this is those kids bring it, man, and it's heartbreaking. Greg, Agogi had. One of these guys was on the last Chattanooga card, wasn't he? Yeah,
the Agogi kid is who Rice fought on the last Chattanooga card. So Zach Fox's kid is making the return, if you will.
Right. So yeah, when it's your turn, I want to hear a little bit more about that because I know that's one of those heartbreaking things. Watching you guys as coaches, those kids bring it and they give everything. I mean, everything into it. And then, he was tore up after the fight, and you guys were good with him. trying to console him, but also give him that kind of tough love. Like, buddy, you chose this life. This is how it goes. So I definitely want to hear more about that when it's your turn. But yeah, like you said, a lot of debuts. Canto, Flores, Brown. I mean, lots of debuts here, man. So I know you do your homework, Tim. So I'm going to guess that a lot of these are going to turn out to be some really good fights. And all I can say is, when we do the recap show quickly before Aries 2, I imagine that these guys are going to give us a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely some diamonds in the rough down there with a lot of those debuts that we're going to get to see. Greg, your take on the bottom portion of the amateur card? Like I said, a lot of debuts. Is there any insight you've got on some of these guys?
I'm excited to see Case Rice come back out of Diamond Muay Thai, one of those Zach Fox prodigies coming up here or down here and to take on an independent from independent MMA from Noah McGay. I'm excited, like Jeff, y'all say it. These guys kick off the cards. They have nothing to lose. These are the two coolest kids in the whole fucking world at the point in time. I don't care who you are. They are, and they feel that way, and they show it too. So they go all out. Moving on, Joseph Flores, Anton Brown, like you said, he better be coming correct as an independent out of Chattanooga. I don't necessarily know him. I wish I did, and I wish I had more to give you on him. But is that the Lima camp that he's coming out of?
No, he is. No, he's with Mike Galatello and those guys at the ATT proper in Atlanta, not Gwinnett.
All right, gotcha. Well, all right, well, moving on. Frank Gallardo, I know he was a decent wrestler out of Ottawa High School, and I've actually got to spar with him. Fighting at 145, man, that is a tough kid. Very tough kid. I don't know what to expect from Antoine Jennings, but he's also coming out of AT&T in Atlanta, so I expect him to be a little more polished up than your average debut. Skylar Cobb, a 50-50 fighter coming in to fight debut Lucas Cox. The only thing I can tell you about Lucas Cox is he is a cop. He's a former Marine. Man, seen some shit. This is fun to him. Whatever it is, whoever it is, it's going to be fun to him. I don't know that this man is going to make this something a casual thing. I think he just wants to get in there and test to see if his actual training is going to pay off in the cage. And I think he just wants that limelight one time and just to see what happens. And I think that after this fight, though, he's going to love it, man, because I know that Skylar Cobb is balls to the wall. He's going to come balls to the wall. He's not going to quit. Lucas hasn't seen nothing like that. When we spar, we don't go super, super, super heavy hard over there. With these debuts coming out, we got to keep them fresh. We want to make them come back. But we're starting to Shark Tank them, so they're all getting it. And when you punch Lucas, he just looks at you and says, "I don't give a fuck. Come on." I can't help but laugh, and I'm like, "All right, man." Moving on up the good, but yeah, him and Skyler is going to be a little banger. I don't see that one coming out of the first round, vice either way. Cameron Oliver. I don't know if you've ever seen that Florida Alabama line. That was at Florida that show on MTV or Jersey Shore, whatever that shit is. All right, this would be the guy.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, this would literally
it's like
be
Floribama.
I swear, yeah, that's it. So I swear to God, Cameron would be the guy for like Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Tri-City area. Like, I mean, he's huge. He's a bouncer at clubs. He works as security. I think he's originally from Nashville. He's found a home in Chattanooga. I think he went to UTC. Super duper nice guy. But when he turns the switch, I've seen him do it at nightclubs. I've seen him put some guys out. Now I get to see him go against the guy who's going to be training to do the same thing to him, and I'm excited about that. He is green, but he's got a contest right here against a 1-0 guy. Corey Farmer coming out of North Carolina up there in Murphy. I'm excited to see those casino boys come in here. Other than that, my homeboy Spencer Kistner, I love that guy right there. He's one of the bigger sponsors on this show. We wouldn't have been able to really do it without him. And all this talk, he's been training at Agogi for time and time. He's just said, fuck it, dude, I want to fight. Like, I see all my boys doing it. Why can't I do it? I mean, Spencer's been in a lot of fights. And I'm excited to see him get into with Mikey Jutz. That'll be a great matchup right there. Mikey's got the height and the reach advantage. Spencer's just going to be mean in that one. That's what I think about those.
Justin, wrap us up.
Man, not a ton left to say after these guys got done, but if you followed us for a while, everybody knows that I love these kids fights, these under 18 fights. I think it's crucial to the development of these guys, and getting to get on a stage like this, in front of these kind of crowds is it's priceless for them. So that's the one fight that I'm really looking forward to. But like I said, these guys are all pretty fresh, but nothing I can really add to that.
All right, guys. Once again, that's the fight card for Aries 1, October 30th, Camp Jordan Arena. You get your tickets at fightertix.com and select the fighter that you're coming to see, so they get some credit there. Fightertix.com, and you can also watch the pay-per-view live on Spectation Sports. We'll be putting that link out there on social media. Last segment of the show. We appreciate everybody for hanging in there with us this long. We'll wrap it up quickly here, guys. UFC Vegas 39 coming up this weekend from the Apex. We're going to use the lines from Action 24/7. Greg, tell them about the promo.
Guys, if you go and you log on to Action 24/7, or we had the QR code last week, go over to www.action247.com, sign up, put your first, here she is right there, put your first deposit in with promo code Aries, and you'll get a 100% match bonus all up to $400. So put 4 in, get 8, listen to us, do what we tell you to. Follow that Action 24/7 lock of the week, and you'll double that bet. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, let's get into it, guys. We got the odds from Action 24/7 here. Shout out to my boy Cody Saftik, who's had 2 UFC cards in a row perfectly. So shout out to him. If you want to tell anybody, tell him, because he's making some money right now. We've got this one is headlined by Mackenzie Dern and Marina Rodriguez. Mackenzie Dern minus 185. Marina Rodriguez coming back at plus 160. Also on the undercard here. This is only a 10-fight card now. It was a 12. They lost a couple fights today. Jamie Pickett's fight fell off, I saw. Randy Brown takes on Jared Gooden. Mateusz Nicolau versus Tim Elliott. Sabina Mazo and Maria Agapova. Agapova, I think, is who lost everybody a whole lot of money against Shannon Dobson. Phil Hawes takes on Deron Wynn. We've got Chris Gutierrez taking on Felipe Colares. Alexander Romanoff takes on Jared Vandera. Charles Rosa, Damon Jackson. And then we've got Lupita Godinez taking on late replacement Silvana Gomez Juarez, opening up the card, a fight that maybe isn't a UFC level fight. Steve Garcia taking on Charlie Antiferos. Very quickly, we'll go around the horn, guys. Anything stand out to you? Any best bets? Anything that you see that looks like some good, honest information for our viewers? Justin, I'll let you lead.
Man, there's not a ton here. Obviously, the main event. Mackenzie Dern's been training with Jason Perillo now. Working her striking, obviously, she's got world-class jiu-jitsu. Marina Rodriguez is world-class. She's gone out there and gotten wins over, some really tough opponents like Tisha Torres. But I like Mackenzie Dern in this one. I think that her jiu-jitsu is world-class, obviously. I think it's better than anybody's in the division. And with her striking under Jason Perillo, I think that's going to be a big game changer. I think she's going to be able to really dictate where this fight takes place at. And I don't know what the odds are. I might play something wild on Mackenzie Dern by TKO or something like that.
That would definitely be wild.
Yeah. The only other thing, let's see, a couple other ones is Matthias Nicolaus and Tim Elliott. Nicolaus is the favorite. It's been a while since he's fought in the UFC. Tim Elliott's been a lot more active, obviously. I think Tim Elliott's on a little win streak right now. I can't really remember, but he's always tough. He's one of those guys that's going to fight to the end, and so that might be a nice little underdog play, as well as the Darian Wynn, Phil Hawes. I think Darian Wynn comes from a good pedigree. He's a real short 85er. I think this fight's at 80. Is this at 85 or 205?
It would probably be, I'm guessing it's 85.
Yeah, I think so. Duran was at 205.
He's pretty much Torres.
Yeah, exactly. Great wrestling. Phil Hawes is an explosive dude. But I think Deron Wynn does have the ability to stifle a lot of the explosiveness of Phil Hawes. And if Deron Wynn can land a couple of those takedowns and get some control time on the ground, I think he can ride out a decision there. So that's the only three that I really see that I have much interest on at all.
Jeff?
Yeah, not a lot here interests me, but looking at some of the odds, I mean, hell, every finish every way is plus odds. So I don't know why you wouldn't sprinkle something. Your Mackenzie Dern by KO TKO is like plus like 1,500, 1,600.
Give me that.
It's on up there, but Mackenzie Dern by submission is plus 100. So I mean, there's plus money all over the board there. So hell, I could sprinkle a little bit everywhere, and then just hope to God it doesn't go to a decision, and we may win some money. But I mean, that's really Jared Gooden though. He's kind of if this was a mafia, a friend of ours, a friend of mine, a friend of ours. I'm always excited to watch him fight. But man, for me, I don't know that I'm going to be, if I got something going on, I don't know that I'm rushing home to make sure I catch the undercard and just kind of maybe what football games are going on. Maybe we should talk about some Action 24/7 football.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I might be watching more football and just tuning in for that main event.
Hey, man, I'll go before Greg here, and I've got to say that I agree with you. This is very much a prospect-heavy card. Most of these fights, not saying all of them, but I'd say half of these fights easily would be contender series level fights, really, and that's why I don't have a whole lot of confidence in a whole lot of plays in that. A lot of these guys are still low tier UFC guys. At first glance, I would take Steve Garcia over Charlie Antiveros minus 300, maybe put that with Alexander Romanov minus 400 and parlay them together. But again, and that's really but it's honestly just more fades of their opponents who I'm not very high on. So that's not necessarily the best strategy. I don't mind Jared Gooden plus 170 against Randy Brown. I think Randy Brown needs to submit him to win, and I don't know that he can necessarily take him down. The main event, honestly, I'm kind of the other way. I'd probably take Marina Rodriguez plus 160 here just because I think that she's going to have the better footwork. And if Dern isn't, obviously we know Dern's striking is coming up, but is it on that level yet? I don't know. So that's kind of my take. Romanoff Garcia parlay is about all that I will do. Maybe a small sprinkle on those underdogs, Good and Marina in the top two fights. Greg, finish us off here on this one.
Just looking through the card, not too much excites me, but I got to get that lock of the week in there. I went through, and I think it was Justin that mentioned that you like Darren Wynn, Justin?
Yeah.
I like Darren Wynn because, you mentioned this, of course, Jeff gives me hell, but the background, Phil Hawes, he's a wrestler. Darren Wynn's a wrestler too. And there's two different levels of wrestling right there. And I think that if Darren Wynn doesn't get knocked out, in the first round by Hawes, I think Hawes' gas tank is just going to plummet. That is a little sprinkle I will be putting on a memory sprinkle. I'll probably put, Darren Wynn and a couple of other dog parlays or stuff. Also, I don't love Felipe Corrales right here, but I do like that he's fighting down at 135 against Chris Gutierrez. And as long as he can keep his legs intact, I think he's got that cast iron chin. If he can last through, he's tough as shit. That's going to be more exciting than I don't know what the odds are on that right there with Felipe
Gutierrez is minus 250.
Okay, so just jump on something like that. I mean, you got that's another one right there for another dog right there, and then Tim Elliott. I just that one right there. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That's another toss up. I am excited to see Jared Gooden on here. Probably be fading him. Probably end up taking Randy Brown by decision just because I just if Jared comes up like he did last time, I was in Cherokee, North Carolina watching that fight and I was gambling on it. I faded Jared and he starched him and he won. Shouts out now. If he does that to Randy Brown, then we're going to see a big upping in the rankings right there for Jared Gooden, and I hope we do see it. Not so much interested in the main event, really. I'm not, but I also side with Tim and Sam Mo Rodriguez because this fight's at 115. Rodriguez has got some power. Mackenzie Dern hasn't been on a tear, but I mean, this is another fight, and it's a big one. Other than that, dude, I'm not super duper happy about it. But my Action 24/7 lock of the week is going to be on Sabina Mazo against Agapova because, and this is just a straight fade on Agapova because last time I watched her fight, she just got her ass kicked. I mean, fucked up.
She was like minus 1,500 in that one too.
Fucking in the asshole, Jeff.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, she was a massive favorite. She blew a lot of parlays.
Oh, she killed it. So it's really more of a fade on Agapova and Mesa, and I just see like maybe just a grinding, just an out the decision, just a wrestle fuck there from Mesa, and that's all I see.
Tim, I want you to say one more time what that Rodriguez. What does Action 24/7 have Rodriguez at?
Plus 160.
Plus 160. So everybody watching, that promo code right there, that website, Action 24/7. I like to go. I'm going to go ahead and admit, well, Action 24/7 is our dog, but I check out the other betting websites right now. So if you guys want to make money, I'm looking at a competitor right now that's only got Rodriguez at plus 138. So you want to make money, Action 24/7. They're there for you to make some money, man, and make the better money. So if you don't believe me, go check out some of these other sites, some of these other betting sites. Look at the difference in the odds, man. Whether it's a plus or a minus, Action 24/7 has your best odds.
No doubt. And one more thing on that main event is, it's a main event, so it's a 5-round fight. Mackenzie Dern has documented issues with making these weight cuts a lot of the time. So, 5 rounds at 115 for Mackenzie Dern as this fight goes on. I think the activity and the volume, if she doesn't get Marina out of there quick, things could start to turn. It may be a good chance to do a live bet if Mackenzie looks pretty good in the first round or two, and hoping that that gas tank doesn't check out late in the fight. That's going to do it, guys. We appreciate everyone for sitting in with us. Long episode, but we got a lot in. We'll be back next week. We'll do some more interviews. We're going to go through the whole card for Aries 2 next week. That one will be at the world famous Cotton Eye Joe, November the 5th. If you would, one more time, guys, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment, all those things help us grow this thing. And let us know in the comments also, who you want to hear us talk to. We're going to do as many interviews as we can in the coming weeks leading up to these shows. And we're going to get as many guys on as we can to give them some exposure. So if there's somebody you want to hear from, let us know. Till next week, for my co-hosts, Jeff Hobbs, Greg Hopkins, Justin Watson, I'm Tim Loy signing off for another edition of the 0 Hour. Peace.
Peace.